The Nets won their first game following the end of the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving era in what has been an eventful week, to say the least, for Brooklyn. So let's talk a new era of Nets hoops. That is going to be with New York Post Nets beat reporter Brian Lewis. Brian, I know it's been a busy week for you. How are you doing?
All right. Can't complain. Was that era or error? Which
It could be a
which
double
was that?
entendre. We could play.
Uh,
It was a new era of Nets basketball, a new era. I don't. It's a take it however you want. I really meant era in terms of this period of time, but people
uh,
can take that however
okay.
they want because you might look at it as an error, and you wouldn't be wrong. Now, Brian, considering the two major trades for the Nets this week, shipping out Kyrie and KD, how impressed were you with the team's win over the Chicago Bulls on Thursday night?
Well, I was impressed more so than just being impressed with a shorthanded victory because, I mean, let's be honest, the Bulls were poor. Um, they shot 5 of 26 from deep, and they didn't really acquit themselves well. But I was impressed with the way the Nets played. There was a good vibe, good energy, which goes a long way. And I was impressed with the way they moved the ball and created shots for each other. You know, with KD and Kyrie, those are elite shot creators, not just for themselves, but for others. And they don't have that, right? Now, Spencer can get his own shot. But for the most part, these guys are going to have to create shots for each other. Dorian Finney-Smith acknowledged as much after the game. That's how they're going to have to play to get clean looks going forward. And 26 assists, that was a good start.
Was a good start for them and how they were able to move the ball. Now, Brian, the Nets, they're still a top five team in the East. There's been talk that without top level talent, like you just mentioned, they could slide down the standings. Is Brooklyn still a playoff team in your eyes?
I would say so. Listen, they have 27 games left. I think they have, what, a 7.5 game lead on Toronto, which is the last place playing team. Nobody that's in front of them at this point really matters. All that matters is what's behind them. And the teams that are behind them did not really improve themselves exponentially. Um, they have a 3 game lead on Miami. They're fifth. They have a 3 game lead on Miami. Um, if you want to talk about the Knicks, if the first place playing team, as it were, uh, the Nets could go 13-14. They could have a losing record the rest of the way. And since they have the tiebreaker on the Knicks, they could force the Knicks to go 17-9 to catch them. I haven't seen anything out of the Knicks that would imply to me that they'll finish 17-9. So I would say, if you're asking me now, I would say yes, they are a playoff team.
All right, still have them as a playoff team. Now, looking forward, GM Sean Marks, he's in a rebuilding situation again with this team. With all the picks they've acquired and they've got a plethora of wings now, do you think the Nets will make more moves this upcoming offseason?
I mean, I'm not really a predictions guy, but I would almost guarantee that they'll make more moves. They have a ton of wings, as you correctly point out. Everybody in the league is always looking for wings. They need another big man of some sort, whether it's a backup center, backup power forward who can rebound, even a starting power forward. Um, Cam Johnson, who is a hell of a shooter, but he's a restricted free agent. He's not a great rebounder. Um, I would assume that they have to pare down some of these wings. I would have to assume that they're going to have to add another big man. Ben Simmons' contract, which is at this point one of the worst contracts in the entire league, would be easier to move in the offseason than it would have been this week. What they do with him, I don't know, but I would say it's almost a foregone conclusion that there are more moves coming.
More moves should be coming for the Brooklyn Nets. We will see how they close out the season, if they finish in the playoffs, and what they do in the offseason. You know who will be on top of it. That will be Brian Lewis, Nets beat reporter for the New York Post. Brian, hoping you get some rest after what is a busy week, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks for having me.